I'm using
Lydia Harrell.
Lydia Harrell.
Wow. Oh, my God. You start the
backup.
sentences and he finishes them.
Yeah, that's true.
You have a collaboration with your wife.
So I'd be changing stuff. She'd get looking at me. And so then
Yikes.
got to
It's
the
gonna be
point
cold
where
at dinner.
she'd hand me a sheet and go, you can change 3 things, but you can't change this.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of our conversation with our good friend, composer and producer and all-around great guy, Brad Hatfield.
Let's talk a little bit of music supervision, because
Yep.
my understanding is that you then taught music supervision classes or wrote a class as well as that. That's right, is it?
Yes, I approached Berklee online when I did my songwriting for film and TV course, which is the one that you took. That was my first course. I said, look, if we're going to do this, they really need to know more of the ins and outs of, number one, what a music supervisor might be tasked with doing, which is everything. And also, if you really think you want to write music for media, you need to know what they want and why they want it and what they need in terms of details and everything else, so you make their job easier. So I developed the course based upon a book that was out at the time on music supervision. And I worked with the authors and said, here's what I'm doing. And they said, just go for it. Just recommend our book, as a required text.
Gotta get this book.
Recommended, right? Yeah. So it makes sense. So I developed it there, and then I started teaching at Northeastern University, and that's when I first got the classroom thing going, in-person class. But my first round of the music supervision course was so deep and so intense that, students, unless they were really digging in, they would get overwhelmed. And I kept telling them this needs to be 2 levels, so we can spend more time in these important areas. They eventually did that. So I now have these 2 levels of music supervision. And it's very hands-on. They really have to deal with researching appropriate music and coming back with all the details, as well as pleasing me or whoever's facilitating, the executive producer. So for their projects, they're getting real-time, real-life feedback on the choices that they made, or in terms of creating documents, license proposals, cue sheets, what have you, that every freaking thing on those documents matters. You cannot get this wrong. You cannot get it wrong. You get it wrong, it gets into the system, and it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, nobody gets paid, people get sued.
In 2 years, somebody's really unhappy with you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. This course sounds like it was well needed. And young composers today that are, let's say, not at Berklee, if we were going to give them a message about what they would gain from understanding a music supervision, what would your 1-minute elevator pitch of that be?
Yeah, well, once again, it comes to you got to know what you don't know. Your goal as a composer is to make that story pop in somebody else's viewpoint. A skilled music supervisor is going to be a translator between who's ever the showrunner or executive producer in the case of TV, but a director in case of film, typically. And so they are the interpreters. So when they send out a brief, here's what we need for this scene, that they actually communicate to folks that speak music language and storytelling language as a lyricist or whatever, that they're going to get good results coming back. So I think you need to understand the business aspect. Of course, there's budgeting. Sometimes there's no budget.
Most of the time,
That's
no
really
budget.
tricky when you're trying to license with no money. But they're, understanding, budget, turnaround, nailing the brief, and delivery of the musical the elements, audio elements that they need, so they can do their job effectively.
Having done this for such a long time, I never have taken a music supervision course. I've only dealt with music supervisors. And when you find a good one, boy, they must have taken your class, because it's a gift, really. I think.
Yeah, we've worked with a couple of supervisors, and you know I know.
Like,
Jim,
okay,
you and I,
here we go. Yeah, this is great.
We've got, yeah. Okay, somebody knows what they're doing. I feel comfortable to do my job as well, and I'm, you know,
Right.
But
You know what you're doing now. You've got good guidance. And
right.
you know, with Y&R, there's 35, maybe even 50 pieces of music every episode, 5 days a week. It's just a boatload of music. It's a mixture of score, source music. And when we've got something coming up now,
Oh boy.
oh, here we go.
here's lyrics to, maybe not.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
Got
boy.
it.
Peaches and Cream. This is a sexy seduction scene. It's not going to air the show. It's going to get shot next week. But we're putting together music now that we're pitching to the music supervisors, who will play it to the floor when they shoot the scene,
Yes.
just to get the vibe going, and then hopefully you get buy-in from the producer line. And then, and that's the case, then the picture editor will, cut picture to the tune. Then we can back up and we can refine. But it's important that, I send in rough mixes of stuff, and just to say, are we going the right direction? I'm not always going to get back from a supervisor, even though they know music, about too many minor chords, or that last thing is not we're going to go to commercial. I know how this thing is set up, and we need to leave us with a question, whatever.
Right.
They might address some of that stuff. Mostly they're just telling me things like, yeah, she thinks she's all that. So there's just sort of this false,
So it's an emotive thing, and it's all about the drama and
totally.
what's going on in the show, rather than about your music and
the history of that character or the storyline that might be 20 years old in our case, because the show's
Right.
been over 50 years.
Right.
So this is when I say you need to know what you don't know. You're not just writing for that scene, especially when it's like a body of work like Y&R that spans decades. You're writing to connect with viewers that know motifs or stylistic
They've been following
things that are
this.
associated with maybe that character, or maybe another character that was associated with that character.
Right.
And then there's what's going to happen in the future. Oh, no, they're not really in love. So you can't go there
course
yet.
not.
It's
Yeah.
going to happen 25 episodes down the road. But right
Right.
now, it's just intrigue.
so
right?
different from film, because you've got this long form, in this case over years and years. So you can't spill the beans at the wrong time, and you have to. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get so much great advice from both of the music supervisors and you know what it does? It makes their job easier, because then they don't get something from me that just doesn't fit the bill.
It saves everyone's time. Absolutely.
Wow.
And that's what it's all about, folks. Nobody's got time for fixing funky documents. I mean, we're lucky also in terms of what a music supervisor has to do in most cases, is that you need to prep those cue sheets. We're lucky. We get all the shows delivered to us once they're mixed. I go through, or one of my assistants, Mike Orsacci, goes through and listens to the whole episode, and we just make our notes about what we heard, what we thought we heard. Maybe there's a question mark about this or that, because they're using just a couple of stems, and we, no top line. We're like, I'm not going to waste any more time. I think that's us. Let's
Yeah.
keep rolling. So we make our list, and then at the end of the month, we get cue sheets from both music supervisors, and we can cross-check between what we thought we heard or what we heard and what's on there. And that's our chance to make corrections.
Right.
So they write 13 seconds, and it was supposed to be a minute 30, and because they just did a typo, and we can catch that.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars.
That's
Bang,
real
right
money.
there.
Absolutely.
Real
Well,
money.
what an interesting and unique situation you are in, because that I have to believe practically never happens. What you're going through with the show, that is very unique, and wow, thank
Yeah.
you for it. Thank you for all the time.
Yeah,
invested.
well,
Yeah.
it's the trickle down,
Absolutely, yes.
'Cause as soon as we're in, it's just like, this is the thing. Here's what we need. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
can deliver what we need, and those change to a degree, certain things stay there. But once again, now you're getting secondhand advice here, but it's like script, executive producers, music supervisors, composers that are on the show, and then like, hey, here's what we need from the catalog perspective. If you can deliver this, more than likely it's going to get used. We never can make any promises because
one-stop
that's
shop.
It's not your decision.
Not even the music supervisors can't make promises, because what ends up in there or doesn't end up there or ends up on the cutting room floor, it's just like,
that's way higher up in the chain. Yeah. So, well, this leads us, interestingly, I think it leads us here, to collaboration. How do you feel about collaboration?
Yeah, I'm
Pros
not
or
for
cons?
it. I'm not for it. Yeah.
Hey, man, Jeff, we probably got more collabs with you between Gaye and I and you and I. And
we've written a lot of music together. Yeah.
And once again, it's that magic mixture of taking 1 + 1 and having it equal 3. Because if you really have strengths in a certain area that somebody else needs, and vice versa, it's just the best way to deliver the goods in a timely fashion and be more on target, rather than trying to do it all yourself.
Right.
Certain things I have to do all myself. I have no time. I'm literally on a Zoom call with them, and I'm playing stuff to them while they're talking to me.
Yeah.
And then, 20 minutes later, I'm sending in that file. But other things, especially when you've got advance warning, like the briefs that come out, it's like, who am I going to go to? And once again, I brought this up earlier, but I'll repeat it again. There's the writing collaboration, where you're actually sharing writer credit. That's one type of collaboration, and that, fortunately for us, the PROs are still doing their thing.
Yeah.
So that collaboration will keep, potentially generating for you. But then there's also the production collaboration, where you really need somebody to finish whatever it is that you're doing with your song to make it work. So that might be somebody taking the reins and doing the whole thing, while you say, here's my melody, here's my song. Do something with it.
Yeah.
To, hey, I'll give you these tracks, we'll swap things out, and now you're moving files back and forth. You might find that you need to be a casting director to get the proper collaboration going. So if it's a vocal, we all, I'm using
Lydia Harrell.
Wow. Oh my God!
Let's
You start
back
the
up.
sentences and he finishes them.
Yeah, that's true. So Lydia's doing the sexy seductress stuff for us right now. So Gaye did a tune all by herself that Lydia sang. So that's
Fantastic.
done.
Yeah.
And then I'm working on one where she's done most of the lyrics, and I'm just filling in, this and that. But her vocal cell for this particular character and situation is going to be right on. So collaborating is not always going to work out for everything. Because you might have miscast the other party, or they miscast you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's
We
always
did
those.
We did a whole podcast about collaborations and different types of collaborations, and one of the things we talked about, I remember, is we said we've hired vocalists for songs, and we might have hired 3, 4 vocalists, and it has to be
For the
right
same
for the
tune.
piece of music.
Right.
But equally, sometimes you can miscast in any area of it. Somebody's just not the right person to do what you've asked them to do, and that's not their fault. You hired them.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. I was at a Recording Academy thing the other night, and so many people are interested. It was a composer thing, and people were getting up and performing a songwriting thing, and they were performing their tunes, and everyone's so interested in sync and I want to get involved in sync, but they do their own thing, right? And I cannot express enough how important it is, the collaboration. You have to find someone to collaborate with who might take you to that next level, right? Or might open up some door that you don't have open. So, reach out to people, because when you're trying to do it all on your own, I think that is that's a huge problem.
Yeah, and
Red
you
herring,
find
right?
people can do things passably, but
or they do what they do really well.
Yeah,
but it's just their
but they
thing.
might do the other areas passably. but I don't want to put out passably. I want to put out freaking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
gotta
I
listen
can't
to
do
this.
those,
Yeah.
hire
Somebody's going to
somebody.
buy this,
Yeah. Hire somebody that does that.
Yeah.
And then
Well, yeah,
do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
there's, Susan Werner, great songwriter, performer, wrote this tune called "Don't Work with Your Friends," and so I would tell my students this all the time: don't work with your friends unless your friends are pros, because it gets really sticky when
Yeah.
it's not working.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and if you're new at producing and you've got somebody behind a microphone and it's just not going well,
Yeah, what do you
you know,
say?
choose your words carefully, or just say, let's just, wrap this. I think that, we got to go a different direction. That's
Yeah.
the big one, right? So it can get really dicey. Now, Jeff, you said that, get involved and write with somebody else. All right, so here's a little illustration for anybody that's watching. I'm touching my thumbs together.
Oh.
If you're listening, you can't see this. But this is like a straight one person collaboration, right? So you've got two folks there. But it gets deeper than that, because this person over here they're attached to all these people
Exactly.
who are attached to another hand that I can't have.
A network.
I had it, I could play like Art Tatum.
Yeah, there you
So,
go.
but all these people over there are now going to get exposed to this
you.
person.
This
right?
is how networks are formed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
if you don't get in there and do something, you're depriving yourself of that real solid. And this is what I would always tell people: I don't need your business card. I need your music to tell me that you've got it together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I don't care what
Yes.
awards you've been nominated or won. None of that matters. I need to know what it is that you do, and also that you're not an idiot to work with.
Yeah.
Well,
don't
you know
have time
what?
for that.
There's there's a couple of things there. The first is, as you say, not an idiot. Some people it just doesn't gel. Even if
Sure.
you're not a schmuck, but
Yeah.
I just can't. It just doesn't work. But also, I find it interesting. I think there's a mental health issue here as well. I think these days you can sit in a room, never go to a recording studio, make something, never meet a human being, never see the sunlight, and I just think there's a problem in that. And I
Yeah.
know I've had problems in that when, if I'm not careful, you've got to get out. You've got to meet other people. You've got to go to events, the SCL or BAFTA in the UK or the PRS, whatever these things are, collaborating with people physically in person, but also online. I mean, if I did this by myself, man, I think I would go nuts.
Yeah.
I think I would genuinely be within. I couldn't do it.
One of the great parts about collaboration, certainly, is that you get to make friends. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, but the networks too. Yeah.
So you have something, Brad, that neither David or I have, is you have a collaboration with your wife. Did you guys always write together? I mean, I heard a little story about how you met and Gaye auditioned for a band you were with or something. And but how did that blossom and how has it changed through the years? I mean, you guys obviously work so well together.
Early on, she replaced my singer, and we had a wedding band and did corporate events and that kind of stuff, high-end things in Boston. And we always had great musicians. Our drummer, Jim Gwynn, was the Boston Pops drummer for 20-plus years. I mean, everybody that was on the band could really play. So even though we were doing some music that maybe we didn't want to play, we played the hell out of it. You know?
There you go.
So she brought her A game, and she had her own book, which was unusual, especially for vocalists to come in. It's like, here's a book. Everybody's got one. Let's read. Let's do this thing.
Wow.
So she could arrange her stuff. And so she just impressed me musically. And so we already had that, relationship of, making music together, especially jazz stuff,
Right.
where you're not just playing what's on the page. You make choices, right? And she's always made great melodic choices as a soloist, She's not fiery million notes. That's not her thing at all. But what she plays makes sense, and there's space, and there's ideas that get finished. And so there's that number one, Jeff, it's just that mutual musical respect that opens you up to saying, well, I can work with this person on this next level besides the improvising performance thing.
Yeah.
So she saw what I was doing as I started doing more and more stuff for Sync. And she goes, let me write a couple of those things.
Yeah.
And then
Get out of the way. I
so-
could do that. Yeah.
yeah. And and then, things came up. I'm really busy. And Jeff, came onto the scene. And Jeff, master, top line, playing drums, singing, needs chords and whatever, and to get the thing going. So she did a lot of that. And then it was just like, okay, we're full on. So early on, when she would write something, I would take it because I'm pitching it to somebody else. This is not just for her to put out. Now, she did her own stuff, and she does her own thing. It's totally fine. Daddy's hands are off. But if I'm the conduit, and it's a little bit more collaborative here, even if it's all her work, I'm going to go and say, yeah, we need more space here, or let's change that chord, or that. I know that's a surprise, but we can't have it 3 times. Let's just leave it for that last time, blah, blah, blah. So I'd be changing stuff. She'd get looking at me. And so then
Yikes.
got to
It's
the
gonna be
point
cold
where
at dinner.
she'd hand me a sheet and go, you can change 3 things, but you can't change this. Now,
I love that.
How have things changed? Hands it to me. Do whatever you want.
Just, yeah, here you go.
Do you know how
I'll
much
go write
I would
another one.
love
Yeah.
to say to an editor or somebody giving me feedback? I'm sorry, you get 3 things,
Yes. I'll change
but that's
3
all I'm willing
things.
to accept. But
I
not
love that.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That's
Fast,
fantastic.
cheap, and excellent. You get 2 of those, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
absolutely
really
fantastic.
funny. And some of her score that she's done for the show, it's just really unique, but it's working really well. And in that particular case, she sketches things out using Logic. She will orchestrate to a degree, but it's all just like, hey, here's the top line, here's the support,
Here's a
here's the
sketch,
other,
yeah.
element, melodic or textural. And she sends me that, an MP3, and then I give feedback. And then she'll make a Sibelius file, so I've got something to look at. Or if it's really simple, she'll just send me the MIDI file, and I'll just drop it into Digital Performer. And then I'll orchestrate from there. And then once again, I might say to her, I really like this idea here, and I think we can really stretch this out rather than trying to move from here to there, which are all cool things. But knowing the show,
Yeah.
way more space. Need way more space. We need things to repeat a little bit more and get out of the way. And then in that case, I might be bringing in my own ideas or a new section or whatever else, and then it becomes more of a writing collaboration.
Yeah.
But, we help each other with stuff, and I just try to stay out of the way.
Yeah, it's certainly a unique situation you guys
That
have. I
is,
mean, you
isn't
hear about writing, people writing screenplays together and obviously music together, but I think it really is unique what you guys have going, and I think it's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now she's playing sax on stuff, and you can't see it's off camera, but I just got myself a nice U87 and
Nice.
got my Avalon
hello.
tube preamp.
Oh,
So
boy.
Nice.
Yeah. So
No,
for
that
gearheads
sync money's
out
kicking
there,
right
Start
in.
doing some real vocals over there now, too,
That's
huh?
right.
I love it. That's
to
fantastic.
get you down here.
So,
So-
I'm presuming that there is much more to come from the Hatfields musically, but if there was something you said, I have an unfulfilled passion, yearning, I didn't do that yet, what would it be?
Yeah, I don't know whether I would say, because I got a chance to play with amazing people and on all different levels of music, but what I think that what's left, right now, I'm just, as long as this show keeps going and as long as
You're
it keeps
doing
using our music, I am full on that. That is my
I
thing.
love it.
But what I do miss is, playing and writing in the more creative jazz styles where I know it's like, this is not about sync. This is just about doing something that I hear but I can't do because it needs to work with the show. So I've been lucky that I've been able to, played with Jack DeJohnette and Peter Erskine and Michael Brecker. It's like incredible, musical things. George Russell for 20 years touring all over the place with incredible folks in the band. I've been really lucky with a lot of that stuff that you can't get later in life. You can't say, okay, I think I'm going to go now work with the heavies, because
Right.
I have what I call composer chops with my playing these days.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
very familiar.
your composer chops are out of this world compared to
Yeah.
everyone else. So.
Yeah.
But the writing thing, you can
Yeah.
keep going. So you don't necessarily age out of the ability to be creative in that way. But I do miss, just
playing.
and
Playing,
I mean, Gaye
yeah.
and I play every night downstairs. We do about 20 minutes. I mean,
Oh,
we're
how
starting
fun.
to prep for this concert in March now.
Yeah.
But we just enjoy playing with no audience
Yeah.
and no expectations that it's going to work underneath dialogue.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
making music. How
Somebody on your
satisfying.
shoulder saying,
Yeah.
yeah, but I need a little more space in that. And it's not
Well,
that.
so cool. Well,
Yeah.
Brad Hatfield, I can't
Wow.
thank you enough for all the music you've brought to my life.
Well,
for
and-
really, David
yeah,
and
I have to say
connected
that
through
at the
you.
beginning of this chat, you said, Jeff, that this, that this chance encounter, if you will, early changed your life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good Lord, has it changed my life? I mean, I wouldn't have met you. We didn't even get into the fact that I met Jeff hiring him for a vocal for the thing that you gave me, and I didn't hire him. I actually
He
hired
still
somebody
regrets
else.
it to this day, I'm sure. Yes.
And then, yeah, but I mean, I would never have met Jeff. I wouldn't be doing all the things that I'm doing. Changed my life too. So, well, thank you for that.
And I will tell you, just getting out there and doing stuff, saying yes. I mean, the first thing I did for Heavy Hitters, no money. They said, you're not going to get any money up front. We don't know if it's going to get in there. But if it does get in there, there's a license fee. But also, I'm still getting paid for that song, by the way. And that's
There you go.
probably
Right.
30
Wow.
years ago, because it was in Beverly Hills 90210.
I had to
think, or-
borrow a bunch of money to do the first gig for Heavy Hitters. I had to tap people up for cash
Oh, yeah.
to put a
And-
band together.
But then see what happens. You expand the network, you learn
There
the
you go.
business, and then you've got some cash flow, and then
Best
You
investment
say yes.
you ever made.
You're absolutely right. You say
Just
yes.
say yes,
And it
and then
leads
nail the
somewhere.
crap out of it.
There you
That
go.
one.
Just do what you do. Hopefully that's
There
nailing
you
the
go.
crap out of it. Yeah.
Well, this has been a bunch of fun. It really has.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, it was a pleasure to see both of you guys somewhat in the same room.
We're here.
Two
I'll
continents,
point that
baby.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. And just really happy to have been a part of this, and hopefully some folks hear a couple things that they remember that help them turn a light switch on or get them going, because we need good people out there doing good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Screw the AI. We need humans. Humans.
Screw
for
the
music.
AI.
That's another discussion.
Oh, yeah,
man.
yeah. Until that episode, we'll come back to that one. Thank
All
you,
right,
Brad.
well,
It's
thanks
been
again,
an
Brad.
absolute
And
pleasure.
thanks everyone for listening and watching. And we'll be back at you soon.
Till the next time.
Thanks so much, everybody. Ciao.
Bye.